Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Welcome to Speak. I'm Joy Taylor. I'm joined by Super Bowl champion Will Blackman and NBA Finals MVP Paul Pierce. How was the weekend, guys?
Man, great weekend. Made it back for Monday.
We did. We made it back for Monday.
Made it back for Monday.
That's what's most important.
I was coaching football, basketball all weekend. But here I go.
Locked in?
Locked in, baby.
Well, let's see who else had a good weekend. Paul, who is walking around like the man on Monday after a big weekend?
Man, believe it or not, my man on Monday is LeBron James, who just picked up his $52 million player option. LeBron has a career earnings, which is a NBA record, $528 million, most in NBA history. He's made, for the Lakers, $295, Cleveland $170. Then picked up a 64-piece in Miami. Entering his 23rd season. He'll be 41. Give it to LBJ, man on Monday.
I like that. Will?
We're going to go UFC. You saw me throwing combos when we first started. Ilya Tupuria called his shot this weekend, said he's about to knock him out in the first round, and sure enough, Charles, he hit him with the mean combo, put him down. Now he took out three legends, Bo, Max, and Charles, and now he is the division champion, and he's the only undefeated champion in UFC history. So, man, props to Ilya going down. I mean, that combo was legit. Pow, pow, pow. I came here just like...
After you watch a fight, everybody swear they got a little combo.
I'm in the hallway. My wife, she's like, what you doing? I'm just making eggs over here.
Yeah. Watching the fight on Friday, Saturday night, sipping, then go out. Next thing you know, they're in the ambulance.
Yeah, do not do this at home. Do not do this outside. Leave it to the professionals. Well, I'm going to give it to the U.S. men's national team goalie, Matt Freese. Matt Freese saved 3 penalty kicks to help the U.S. men's national team beat Costa Rica in a 4-3 dramatic 6-round penalty shootout. The U.S. men's national team advanced to the Gold Cup semifinals, where they will face Guatemala on Wednesday, July 2nd in St. Louis. This was his first start of the Gold Cup. He is 26 years old. He gets right 5 straight times and saved 3 shots to help send the U.S. to the semifinals. So that's got to be...
I think I can
that's
block
crazy.
A couple of those.
You know what? Here he goes.
I think I can get that.
Here he goes.
Come on, man. Look, I got the 7 feet wingspan.
Like a kiddie goal?
If he kicked it at me on a penalty 5 times, I'm going to block 3.
Bro, they're going to go like this. You're going to jump that way. They're going to kick it over there.
So the thing I'm saying we're giving the man on Monday for...
Yes, Matt.
You can just do.
Good job, Matt.
You can just do. He's 26.
Right.
You can just do it. You can just do it.
I can get 3 out of 5.
That's scary.
3 out of 5?
3 out of 5. That's a good percentage.
What's the next segment?
Matt's like the man on Monday, and Paul's like, nah, I got it. You know what, though? We might could set this up.
I think we should set that up.
We should set this up. We really need to put Paul in these scenarios.
Just call Stu. Bring Stu.
Exactly.
Set that up.
Bye.
I'm done.
All right, we'll start with the NFL breaking news this morning, though. Big breaking news. The Steelers are trading for 3-time All-Pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey. The Steelers will also get tight end Jonnu Smith in exchange for safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and a pick swap. Ramsey was so excited about the trade that he dropped it on his own announcement on social media in a video. Let's check it out.
In Pittsburgh, toughness isn't a trait, it's a tradition. And this city's always had a thing for defense with an edge. Now there's a new name stepping into the black and gold. Shutdown corner, relentless competitor. A walking chip on his shoulder with 4 wheels and no brakes. He talks loud, he hits hard. He didn't come to change what Pittsburgh stands for. He came to show he belongs in it. Steel sharpens steel. And the Steelers just got sharper.
Ooh, I like that.
Damn.
That gave me a little chills right there. I like that.
You're not gonna rope me in, Jalen. I'm standing 10 toes down on my prediction this year, but I like that video. Running hills, you like running hills?
Actually, that is my favorite workout, running hills. Although I did run hills one time with T.O. and Julio, and that was the worst thing I ever did. Never again. Ever.
They're doing it different?
I said, T.O., what's in your medicine cabinet? Because I cannot.
I've never running hills. But how much better did the Steelers get after this trade, Will?
I thought they improved just in terms of, like, you lose a guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick, but you are getting two immediate starters, immediate Pro Bowlers, high-level players in Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith. So I think out the gate, man, just what they did, you're getting a guy like Jalen Ramsey who, of course, they know him as a corner, as a lockdown corner. However, he is super versatile, and I believe that's what's going to happen. They're going to take advantage and use his versatility, almost like what Raheem Morris did when he was in the L.A. That's the year Jalen Ramsey had his best season ever when he played the star position, which is also the nickel, using all over the place. Don't just leave him on one side of the field. He's too instinctive. And obviously, Jonnu Smith coming back with Arthur Smith when they were in Tennessee together. So, and him coming off his best season. So I think this is an immediate upgrade, and they're going to be much better.
You know, as exciting as that video just was.
Believe it.
You know, I think it's kind of a wash between Minkah and Jalen. I think it is at this point. They're both really great players. Jonnu, I think, is what makes the difference because he is coming off of a career year. He's just really too expensive for the Dolphins right now. Steelers had some money, and I think he fits, obviously, what Arthur Smith does. They have familiarity. Right. So Jonnu, I think, is the thing that gives the Steelers the edge in this trade. This was sort of something that had to happen for the Dolphins. Obviously, they got a great piece in Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Jalen Ramsey going to the Steelers is a great addition for them. He's a versatile player. You know, giving someone like Mike Tomlin a Jalen Ramsey is always a good thing. But Minkah and Jalen have both missed 7 games over the last 2 seasons. Dolphins were 5-2 without Jalen. Steelers were 6-1 without Minkah. Like, they're both really great players that contribute at a high level when they're available, and they kind of just swapped.
But this is a motivated Jalen Ramsey. That's the thing. That's a motivated.
I think Jalen's going to have you put the montage together with the voice, the Steelers.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Facenda, is that his voice? That's the guy.
I love it. I love it. And I think he is motivated. I think he will have a great season with Mike Tomlin. But I'm just saying, as far as like who's gotten better, like Steelers and Dolphins from that regard, both got great players that make sense for what they can afford right now and what fits their systems and what's going to work. I think Jonnu Smith going to Arthur Smith, to this offense, to an Aaron Rodgers who could use a weapon like this, even though it is kind of a loaded tight end room now. That is the thing that I think gives the Steelers the edge in this trade. But, Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, it's giving me more confidence in what I've been saying over the last week about the Steelers. I got them going into the playoffs. I got them getting 10 wins. Does it make them better? I don't know if it's going to make them have a win or 2 more from this trade, but I do have them at 10 wins. And for me, it's all about what you're getting in the locker room also. You know, you're getting a veteran leader, a guy who understands his role, a guy who's been there before, who's won. And so as much experience as you can get into a locker room. I mean, they probably got the most experience on one roster that you can get when you look at Aaron Rodgers and DK added to that mix. You know, a bunch of veterans along to go with Mike Tomlin. You have to think that, hey, this is it, guys. You know, they're all at this age to where, you know, they're going for it. So I really like the move, what the Steelers are doing. For me, it solidified them as a playoff contender. Well,
they also added Darius Slay.
Yep.
This offseason. They added DK Metcalf, Robert Woods, Malik Harrison, obviously now Jonnu Smith. So they have a bunch of new additions to this roster, which makes them very interesting. And obviously we're going to be paying attention to what they do with Aaron Rodgers. But do you like them going all in this year with Aaron Rodgers, Paul?
Yeah, I think you have to. You got to understand, Aaron just announced this is his last year. You know, barring that he wins a Super Bowl. And even if he wins a Super Bowl, why not go out on this high horse? You got to see what you got. You got older DK. It's similar to like what we're seeing the Lakers and LeBron. I feel like as long as you have an Aaron Rodgers and you know this is it for him, why not just go for it? Because we said this last year. We was like, for the Jets, it's Super Bowl or bust. So that's pretty much what we're saying for the Steelers. And even though we know that Rodgers is past his prime, he carries that aura, whatever locker room he goes into. When he comes into your locker room, you feel like you got a chance. And I know we may be living in the past, but there's something about certain names that when you throw them in there, it just feel like it gives you a shot and some hope to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I believe in, definitely go all in. And in terms of a couple of things, like you mentioned with the crowded tight end room, well, I think Arthur Smith is going to do things that's friendly for Aaron Rodgers, like a West Coast offense, which is high percentage passes, getting the ball out quickly, being super efficient, and then going all in, bringing guys. When you're bringing in Jalen Ramsey, you're going all in. Like the Rams, they went with Jalen Ramsey because they were trying to go all in. Obviously, Miami tried to do something with that as well. But you're bringing in guys like Jalen, Robert Woods, Slay, all guys who have championships. Like they've been part of that thing. And that's the thing. You're getting all these guys and who are still highly productive. I mean, Slay might be an OG, but he's still running a 4.3. You know, he's still going to be productive there. 4.3? And so, Slay running now. He can still run. And so, I'm all for them doing this. There's no other way, especially now. Like teams today, there's not a long-term plan. Like when Aaron Rodgers first came to Green Bay, there was a long-term plan, right? Sit behind Brett, and then there's like the whole 4-year plan, and the quarterback used to sit. So now, with these younger quarterbacks having success sooner, there's immediate impact, there's immediate success. So now with the Steelers, like, okay, we finally have another situation with a quarterback. We got to go in right now because there is no plan.
There's no tomorrow.
Nope.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. Saying there's no plan is yucky. Ugh. There's got to be some plan.
The plan is right now.
Right now.
It's right now. In terms of like a future plan, what we're trying to do is it's a right now. It's a 1-year situation. Let's figure it out.
All we have is the year in front of us.
The what?
The year in front of us. Like they're not setting up for the future. Aaron hasn't like officially said this is last year, but he's alluded to his last year. Right. It makes sense that this would be his last year.
How things go.
He's on a 1-year deal.
Right.
Even if no matter what and how this season ends, it seems like it'll be his last year. If they have success, then it would make sense that he rides off into the sunset. If it's another quote-unquote failure, then, it is what it is. But he's on a 1-year deal regardless, so it makes sense to go all in. All of this is, of course, contingent upon, in my belief, Aaron Rodgers has a better year than he had last year. And you think that's possible?
As long as the man is healthy. If he is healthy, that's going to be a big deal. I mean, it was... Again, when he got hurt first up with the Jets, like that was a huge issue. And then coming back the next year, trying to balance whatever he was dealing with post-injury and then whatever was going on organization-wise. I mean, clearly it wasn't together in New York. So just everything collectively just didn't work when he was in New York. So right now, depending on where his health is, if he's completely healthy going into the season, I think it's going to be outstanding.
I'm interested to see how the system adjusts to Aaron Rodgers, though. Like, Jonnu Smith is a great addition. Right. Coming off of a career year, anyone would want a player like that. But Aaron is never played in this system before. This style is more run-heavy. It's not exactly what you would say is a match for Aaron Rodgers. So you think that Arthur Smith is going to adjust to what Aaron does?
He better adjust to what Aaron does. There is no question. And to think that, and I'm not saying you are, I'm saying people may think that, hey, he just got there late in minicamp, doesn't know much. I'm sure they have been talking long before. And so there have been discussions on, hey, this is what we like to do as an offense. This is what Aaron likes to do. So, you don't bring in a guy like that and don't adjust to what he wants to do. Like when Payne went to Denver, he brought all his stuff over to Denver. When Tom went to Tampa, he brought all his stuff and the things he likes to do in Tampa. And so now, they may be some new intricacies on what they like to do, what worked last year. But I still think they're going to get back to what Aaron likes to do. Again, that's the high percentage passes. If the run game is there, great, because I'm sure he's going to need it just so he can stay upright and healthy.
Well, Pittsburgh has brought in a lot of new faces with big personalities this offseason, including Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and now Jalen Ramsey. And Mike Tomlin will be tasked with bringing them all together to keep his non-losing season streak going. So, Paul, how will Tomlin handle all these new players with big personalities?
Easy breezy. You got to understand, he's had big personalities before. We all know that. He's respected. You got to understand, when you look at the coaches club and you look at the respected coaches around the league, he's one of those guys. When you walk, he's a no-nonsense coach. He's respected by his players. And the things that happen with Aaron, and that's probably what we're going to be looking at the most. How does he respond to criticism? You know, at the age, being a Hall of Famer, being a 4-time MVP. You know, because when you start building up these accolades, sometimes you can be hard to coach. Sometimes you can be hard to coach knowing that it's your last year in the league. Like myself, knowing my last year, I didn't want to. You don't have to say much to me. I don't need to hear nothing. But I wasn't playing either.
Right. Well, you are not.
I don't want to hear it.
You are not being tasked
right.
with keeping the winning streak alive.
I wasn't asked to lead a team.
Yeah.
In my last year, and so you know we're going to be looking for those things, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think they're going to be on the same page. There is a lot of big personalities, but this is something he hasn't had to deal with before. You know, he's had plenty of wide receivers just as early as last year with Pickens. And, you know, he's had AB. You know, he's had a lot of big personalities. So this is nothing that he can't handle.
Yeah, again, this is not an issue at all for Coach Tomlin. The reason why he's been having success every year and having winning seasons is because he's able to maintain the main thing, and that's culture. Like, he always has a culture where despite whatever happens, whatever is going on with, you said AB, Le'Veon Bell, Big Ben, I mean, we can get on the list of all kinds of, Joey Porter Sr., you name it. You know, anything that he's dealt with, he's fine. And plus the guys he's bringing in, like a Jalen Ramsey, like a DK Metcalf, like they've been around places where, you know, they've had success. And also they have guys on staff right now, on the roster, as in Hayward, you know, who's a leader. And he talked about Aaron Rodgers. If he wants to come here and play, he can come here and play. You got Patrick Queen, you got TJ Watt, you got all these guys there on the team. So I think it reminds me of when, I'm going to go back to Jalen, when he came to the Rams and you had Aaron Donald there. Like, he was already there handling the culture. You had different, you know, Sean McVay already had his culture set too. So these guys are coming in and, like you mentioned, totally respected already. So I think right now this is not a problem. Yes, big personalities, but they're also professionals.
Yeah, I think he'll handle it how he always does. He's not new to big personalities.
Right.
Like, Pittsburgh, for all of its, you know, aura, it's got a lot of personality up there. Like, we're forgetting about the Antonio Brown days and Le'Veon Bell and Ben Roethlisberger, Deontay Johnson, as you just mentioned just last year, dealing with George Pickens. I think he'll handle all of those personalities just fine. He has a standard and a culture, and that's why they always win, because he not only is great at handling personalities, I think it's pretty obvious that he is the best in the league at getting the most out of the players that he has. Like, that is why they've had the streak of winning seasons that they've had with him, because he maximizes players. I mean, when you're winning with Duck Hodges, like, it's tough to poke no disrespect, to poke a hole in that theory. What is the wild card to me is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron is the wild card to me, because how Aaron responds to adversity this season will be interesting. Because last year and the year before in New York, he was the big dog. He was calling all the shots. He was getting people fired. He was making all the demands. That's not going to be the case in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And there's no reason for it to be the case in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh has the reputation in the standing to say this is how we do things, and we've been winning. Last year you won 5 games. The year before that you didn't play. And the year before that you missed the playoffs. We don't do things that way around here. And even if it is 1 year and we're all trying to, you know, make it work, how are things going to go? Because where are you going to point the finger if you're Aaron Rodgers? Aaron always has a place to point the finger. He can't point it at Mike Tomlin.
I'm listening to you.
So that's the personality trait that I'm interested to see how that adjusts, because that has been consistent with Aaron wherever he's been, is that it's someone else's fault.
Yeah, it's definitely still going to be somebody else's fault. Look, when you're in that last year, you're like,
but it can't be Tomlin.
But here's the thing.
Tomlin has too much standing in the league. We have too much evidence of it not being Tomlin.
Look where he was. Yes, there was a lot of fingers to point at where he was in New York.
He put the people in place to point the fingers at.
There was so many people.
Oh no, but the decision maker at the end of the day.
Yeah, that bus ride was like boom, 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 boom.
You know where they put
But Woody made a decision at the end of the What?
You know how they put them bags on that bus? There was a lot of players in where they put the bags at.
Underneath the bus.
There's a GM. There's a coach. Like, there's an offensive coordinator.
But early in the season, the guy who he came to play for in Salah got fired out the gate.
Yeah, why?
because of that. That looked like that was a volatile relationship right there.
All right, then he got rid of everybody. Yeah,
he's not getting rid of anybody.
Now, I would say the thing about him being totally respected, and I think James Harrison talked about it, it is a double-edged sword. Like, he is a player's coach in terms of, like, he lets guys be who they are. Mm-hmm. He lets them have their personalities, and ultimately, he feels like if they're allowed to be themselves, they'll play well, but also it could come back, and that was the only thing he touched on to have any pushback. But I think in terms of this, like, it's not going to be a problem. Because, again, Aaron doesn't have to come in there and be like, okay, these are the things that aren't going well. It's like there already is a system in place. Like, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Staying in the AFC North, the Bengals missed the playoffs last season, and their win total this season is 9.5 games. Defensive lineman Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks last season, but he's holding out for a new deal. Oh, the Bengals. It's always something. Paul, what are your expectations?
Who they?
What are your expectations for the Bengals this season, Paul?
My expectations for the Bengals this season, Brain, same expectations I have for them every year. The last 3 years. Gonna miss the playoffs, Brain. Same thing. Same old Bengals. I don't see why things are gonna change. They did nothing to improve their defense, and
nothing?
They did nothing. They're over here still in contract negotiations with their defensive players. Come on. If we're saying that we're going to go up what they did last year and think he's going to throw for another record-setting year to where Jamar Chase is going to win the Triple Crown again, he's going to have to. If they're going to win and go to the playoffs because the defense, come on now. Come on. I could have played on that defense. You see my defensive moves.
Hold on.
I could have played on that defense with the defensive moves I showed.
Hold on. First you can stop goals, penalty kicks. Now you can play defense.
Oh yeah, I got the swim move down.
Oh, you rushed the pass you talking about.
Man, come on. I could have been on that defense. Look at these moves. Oh, y'all got the tape. Show them. Show them the tape. They need to pull this
Hopefully
up.
they find it.
Have you
Listen.
seen Paul's defensive move?
I have not seen his defensive move.
You haven't? This will be first?
I have. This will be my first one. Fresh eyes.
Right here. I could have played
Fresh
defense.
eyes.
Look. Ha. Yeah. Sack. Sack. Around the corner.
You look like Day and Friday.
She went all the snacks. Look at that footwork. Around him.
You got all the new snacks. Where they hit the street.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at the footwork. The footwork, though. Wow. Out around. Get to the quarterback.
Do we have the new one? All right, this is the updated.
I got the new one, though. Look. I'm new to prove. Hey. Ooh. That's a sack. That's a sack.
Is that Mean Joe Green? What are we doing over there?
Yeah. Ooh.
Listen, you would have left your feet and you would have got sent. What was that?
Yeah. I'm out of there.
Oh, my God. Anyhow, I'm going to go back to the... Let me get back on track. I would have picked him up and threw him straight to the coolers. As soon as you left your feet, you would have seen God. I'll tell you that.
Oh, my goodness.
Listen. Going back to the defense, they had a huge addition. They brought in...
the Bengals defense right there.
They brought in... That's what every time I call on the show, I can never get any work
You
done.
can't. Let's focus.
Come on.
Here we go. Order.
Go ahead, Will.
Got you.
They added Al Golden, defense coordinator from Notre Dame, and they brought him in to be more versatile. Apparently what's happening with Luranimo, it just wasn't working. They were giving up huge plays after plays. I believe it was the Commanders where they gave up, I think they were in cover 0, and Jaden Daniels just threw a deep pass down for a touchdown to win the game. And so there were a lot of things that weren't going well, but they brought in, again, a coordinator who is, I guess, more innovative to what they're doing now. So I think that's a huge step to see if you can do things like that. Because apparently what they were doing last year schematically, right now I got 9 or 11 wins. And I think the total this year is 9.5. And so I think they make the playoffs. I do think they make the playoffs simply because of that man, Joe Burrow. I believe they get it done.
I mean, two things with the Bengals. They've got to sort this out with Trey Hendrickson. They have to. He's their best defensive player. He's owed money. You knew that this was going to come up. Like, it's not a surprise that he was going to ask for his money and demand it. And the way that he played last year deserves it. You're not winning without him. They're bracing for the real possibility that he won't be there for training camp and potentially miss games. They don't have their first-round pick there yet. They're dealing with that. They were 25th in scoring defense last year, and a big part of the reason why they missed the playoffs, outside of starting 0-3, which has been a disaster under Zach Taylor, they've started 1-11 in the first 3 games of the season since they started there.
Right.
is that they weren't able to stop anyone. Joe Burrow was in the MVP conversation because of what the numbers they were putting up offensively, but they're not making the playoffs because there's a whole other side of the ball. Like they need to shore that up. So I believe that they will get it done this season. I believe they'll start faster and they will make the playoffs, mainly because I can't imagine a world where a Joe Burrow-led Cincinnati Bengals misses the playoffs 3 years in a row.
How many wins, Joy?
I'm going 10 wins, but I think they make the playoffs. Now it's going to be tight, obviously, and especially in the AFC North.
Right.
But I just cannot imagine a world where they miss the playoffs again. I don't see it. But it's going to be very contingent on what they figure out on the defensive side of the ball. Coming up, will LeBron push for another title with the Lakers or force his way out of Los Angeles? That's next on Speak. And don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on Sirius XM. Dwayne Wade and LeBron are both legends in Miami Heat history, but D. Wade gave his opinion on which of them is the best ever. Speak up, D. Wade.
I have the greatest body of work of anybody who's ever put a Miami Heat jersey on. If you want to be honest, LeBron James is the greatest player to ever put a Miami Heat jersey on. If we're going off of that, I'm the greatest player in the history of the Miami Heat of the body of work that I had wearing that jersey. But I'm not the greatest player to ever put on a Miami Heat jersey.
Paul?
He's not wrong. You know, Ron had a 4-year stretch, but I will say this, Wade is loved, and he started his career there. Obviously, he got a statue because of his accomplishments, but I will say this, his body of work, because he played more years, he's absolutely right about that. Now, LeBron probably peaked as a Heat player. He probably had the best 4-year stretch out of any Heat player in the history, because I think he won 2 MVPs and 2 finals MVPs, won 2 championships in that stretch. And he really helped enhance D-Wade's career. But before LeBron got there, D-Wade had already won the Heat's first title, which, gives him that. And so he's not wrong, though. You know, D-Wade is a Hall of Famer, statue, obviously. The only statue that I believe is out there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, definitely the greatest body of work when you look at from totals, points, the things he's done, defensive teams, All-NBA championships as a Heat. He has more championships than anybody as a Heat player with 3. No argument from me.
Yeah, I have no notes.
I have no notes. Yeah, points, assists, steal, all that stuff. Now, okay.
I think LeBron would agree with that. LeBron was only there for 4 years. Right. Like Dwayne Wade has a statue for a reason. He is synonymous with Miami Heat basketball. Like he built the culture that LeBron walked into, and then obviously Wade and Bosh took to another level, going to 4 straight finals and winning 2 championships. But yeah, Dwayne Wade is the greatest Miami Heat player. LeBron James is the greatest player to have ever played for the Miami Heat.
So let me ask you this.
Wait, to wear the jersey is what he said, right?
So listen to this.
Yeah, we said the same thing.
Dwayne Wade. He said he has the greatest body of work in a Miami Heat uniform. LeBron is the greatest Miami Heat to put on the uniform. So now let me ask you this. Because LeBron has the greatest body of work out of any NBA player. Mm-hmm. But we say Jordan is the best player.
Right.
Is that accurate right there? It's kind of like the same thing, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you think of 6 championships.
Yeah. Yeah, but LeBron has the greatest body of work of any NBA player, period. Like, when you just talk about from All-Stars, points, rebounds, body of work, nobody's going to shatter that.
Jordan's the best to ever wear a jersey.
But Jordan's the best to ever wear a jersey.
Well, I mean...
Is Shaq the second best to wear a Heat jersey?
Oh, that's a good question right there.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to give it to LeBron.
No.
If he said D-Wade's said LeBron's the best to wear a Heat.
The second best to put on? Yeah, Shaq.
And then Wade?
Man.
He's in deep thought. Yeah. Can we get an ISO on Paul, please?
No, yes. Shaq is the best player, the second best player to put on a Heat jersey, yes.
And then Wade.
And then Wade, yes.
And then Zoe.
And then probably Zoe.
And then Ray.
Ray Allen, yep.
GP.
Yeah. Jerry
GP,
Payton.
yeah.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. It makes sense. Just to put on the jersey. Because I'm looking at them as how they were there, but we're just talking about them as a whole.
Yeah, it's two separate conversations.
Yes,
Like as a total in their career, where they rank all time as players and who was the greatest Heat player. Dwayne is right about that. Well, sticking with LeBron, he is exercising his player option with the Lakers and will make $52.6 million for the 2025-2026 season. The King does have a no-trade clause, but there's still been some rumors of the Lakers potentially trying to trade him, and Rich Paul said LeBron will be closely monitoring the Lakers' moves this offseason and whether they are positioning themselves to be a title contender next season. So, Paul, which is the better move for the Lakers, going all in this year or trading LeBron?
This is a good question because, listen, if you can get some value for LeBron right now to build for the future, you do it. But the problem is LeBron has a no-trade clause, so he just won't be going anywhere. So I guess it leaves you with the option to say, hey, let's go all in. Just similar to the conversation we had about Rodgers. You do it with LeBron because whenever you have a guy like LeBron on your team, you always have this hope that you can win a championship. And since you got Luka playing in his prime, Bron being as productive as he can be, you can say, guys, let's go for it. We got 1 year at least more of service from LeBron. Let's see what we can do. And then after this year, you're going to get some money off the books, probably if LeBron decides to retire or whatever you try to do with that. And then you can say, hey, let's go ahead and build around Luka. But it would be worth it if you tried to go for it this year. You got to understand the Lakers ended up third in the West. They were right there. And I know it didn't look good in the playoffs and it looked like smoke and mirrors, but man, like I said, when you got a guy like Luka on your team who pretty much carried the Dallas Mavericks to a title, they didn't win, but he got them there. And you have to figure that, man, listen, what did you expect? When a guy comes into the middle of the season, he's still learning his player, he's still learning the coach, he's still even learning how to get to the arena.
He's still emotional.
He's still lip still quivering. He was still crying from leaving it from the tribute video. So I think you give it one last try and say, hey, if it doesn't work out, we're going to clean house and say, all right, Luka, this team is officially yours now. We're going to put the stamp, that notary stamp makes it official, boom. We're going to hand the keys over you to officially say we're building strictly behind your talents, and let's see where it gets us.
What do you think, Will?
Yeah, I think there's just what he's been doing the past 8 years, just watching what's happening, being with calculated movements. I mean, obviously 52, I'm opting in for that too. But he's just I think right now at this point, he's 1 year at a time. 1 year at a time. They're not going to make any promises. He's not going to sign multiple like he did last time in terms of going on for the future. But right now, this is where we are. Let's see what happens. Let's see what moves that they make. And I mean, that's what he should do right now at his age, at his stage in life.
I think they should go all in this year. First of all, LeBron has a no-trade clause. So he is going to dictate if there is going to be a trade or not. And, where are you going to trade him anyway? Like, what teams are out there? It's limited for what teams are going to be interested in that. No team is going to give up a core of their youth or, a massive amount of draft picks for LeBron James at this point. So
Cooper flag for LeBron right now.
Cooper.
Let's go down.
But here's the thing. It has to be a team that's not
Cooper flag for LeBron right now.
You trying to end Dallas's existence.
Look, they already did the impossible.
They
already did. But it has to be a place where they're not building through the draft.
Right.
And Dallas is a situation where they have a bunch of guys that they signed via free agency.
Well,
he said Cooper flag.
LeBron is great.
For LeBron right now.
No way.
But this is a situation that the Lakers signed up for. So when they made the trade for Luka, they were aware that this is the situation that they were going to be in this year. I think that, and LeBron, like we're talking about LeBron like he is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's not Aaron Rodgers. He was second team All-NBA this year. He averaged 24.5 points this year. He played 75 games, including the playoffs.
Incredible.
Aaron won 5 games last year. He was barely contributing to I understand, but he was barely contributing to the NFL. Like this is a different situation with LeBron. I understand it's not the LeBron of his prime, but he's still a very productive, good player. And beyond that, his experience and his ability to put people in a position to be better is unmatched. Now, you have to build the team around what LeBron and Luka are not bringing to the table right now. And it is imperative that you get a big, obviously. But your point about them being third in the West, outside of OKC, who we have to put respect on their name because they are the current champions.
Right.
The West is not that scary. Every team is very close. Every team is kind of missing something. There's something unsettled with every playoff team that we had. I mean, we'll talk about the Timberwolves later. Like, Timberwolves look like they were fully capable of getting to a finals this year, and they're still some pieces away. So I think they have to go all in this year. They knew they were going to be in this situation. Worry about next season. Make those moves to build a perfect roster around Luka when you can, because you know that he's going to be there. Rich Paul also commented on LeBron's tenure so far with the Lakers. He said, quote, LeBron wants to compete for a championship. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. We're very appreciative of the partnership we've had for 8 years with Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka and consider the Lakers a critical part of his career. Paul, what do you make of these comments from Rich Paul?
He said a lot. In the two lines, I look at his first two lines. He said, LeBron wants to compete for a championship.
Write that down.
And he said he knows the Lakers are building for their future. So is that a conflict between the two right now? And does LeBron opt in because he knows maybe this is last year and will he seek trade? This is conflicting
Messaging?
agendas by the LeBron camp and the Lakers. Because if they're in the office having talks and they're like, well, you know, Rich, we're moving in another direction. We don't feel like we have a roster that's built for winning now, and we're not going to spend and go over the cap and the second apron and all these things this year. Maybe you seek trade for LeBron. This is interesting as the more and more I dissect this. I don't know where the two sides are, because LeBron's like, I want to win a championship, and the Lakers are like, well, we're building for the future. So which one is it? Mm-hmm. You know, you have to wonder if there's something there. Is there something there to where it makes me think, well, if LeBron knows this, why wouldn't he just become a free agent? Because maybe there's not a market for LeBron? Do you want to risk, you know, your youth for an aging superstar, a guy who might give you 1 year, maybe 2 as service? I don't know. I truly think, even though Rich Paul says LeBron wants to compete for a championship, listen, he's already planted the seeds 8 years ago. Them roots is
Solid.
They're solid in LA. He's not going nowhere. That tree done grown. He done already won a championship. He's built his multimedia company. His kids, his families are engraved in the DNA of Los Angeles and are used to sunshine. I just don't see him going nowhere. And I know they're supposed to talk and say these type of things, but LeBron, regardless of what happens with the team, he's here to stay. He's going to retire a Laker.
Yeah, he, like you said, he mentioned compete for a championship, right? And also he said things like, we're grateful for this partnership. Again, that alludes to the fact, like, listen, we're probably going to do this one more time. You know, possibly if there are opportunities out there in terms of a trade, but right now we're going to do this one more time, building for the future. That was the Luka move. Mm-hmm. Like, now it's his team, you know, from now here and out. But yeah, I think it's a 1 year situation. He says great things because Rich Paul does a great job as an agent. So of course he's going to be careful with the words he says. But right now it just looks like, as I mentioned previous, hey, this is a one-time thing. Let's go all in. We're going to carefully watch these moves that are being made. And again, he mentioned partnership. So clearly there's going to be some say in terms of what's going to happen, like it has been in terms of free agency moves. But, okay, Paul?
Well, let me ask you something. Now, you're married, right?
See.
What if your wife comes to you and says, hey, I only got 1 year left with you?
Thank you for this partnership.
You gonna trade it right there? You gonna look for trade? They should know. Well, Lakers, you heard it. Hey, you might as well go ahead and look to trade, bro.
I mean,
we're gonna wait till the kids graduate, and then we're gonna go ahead and.
I actually think this is a good. You're stupid, Paul. I think this is a good statement by Rich Paul, because what I want to hear is that he knows where the Lakers are. Like, that to me says a lot to the fans, because fans get frustrated when they feel like, they're being held up by situations that are not putting them in a position to win. The Lakers obviously expect to be competing for championships every year, whether it is realistic or not. So, it's looking like this is going to be his last season. Keep in mind, all of the seasons he's played an extra basically 3.5 seasons when you include the postseason and Olympics. So he's played a tremendous amount of basketball. For as many years and miles that we think are on LeBron, we forget all those extra games that he's played. So we know that LeBron's been setting up for the future for many years. He's a multimedia mogul, but it feels like not only does it make sense for the Lakers from a competitive standpoint for him to stay, because they already knew they were going to be in this situation this year with Luka and LeBron, and that he has the no trade clause anyway. But like, LeBron needs to leave the NBA with the proper exits. Like, I don't want to see LeBron go to another team for one more. I don't want
That's
that.
a good
Like,
point.
selfishly, I want to see his final season with the Lakers with the proper pomp and circumstance that it deserves. Like, that. This is LeBron James we're talking about.
It should be a segment for us. We should have like a segment to where we say, which 4-time MVP 41-year-old will have the better season between Rodgers and LeBron?
I'm going to go.
Which team and player?
I'm not going to like you to do this, Paul.
They both going to be 41, right? They both are 41.
Well, he's 41 now.
They're both 41.
Aaron's going to be 42 during the season.
LeBron will be 41 this year.
LeBron will be 41.
41 this year,
41, yeah.
Yeah, but they both 4-time MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like they both in their last season. Which player and team will have a better season?
LeBron's basically a year younger than Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be a good list. We need.
I'm gonna go with LeBron on that. But one player you need for the Lakers, this offseason is a center. The team is reportedly expected to chase Brook Lopez and Clint Capella when free agency begins. DeAndre Ayton is also expected to be in the mix following his buyout from the Trailblazers. So, Paul, who is the best fit for the Lakers at center? Brook Lopez, Clint Capella, or DeAndre Ayton?
Good question, Joy. Now, LeBron wants to compete for a championship. Mm-hmm. Now, if he wants to compete for a championship, I'm probably going to say Brook Lopez. Because Brook Lopez has a championship. He's a veteran. You know what you're getting at the table. But then on the flip side, he knows the Lakers are building for the future. So that's DeAndre Ayton. And I know Ayton hasn't been the best in certain situations in Phoenix and also in Portland to where they bought him out. This is a former number 1 pick that they bought out. It makes me wonder, what kind of character that he's built throughout his time in the NBA to where they want to buy you out, a young guy who's an athlete, who's averaging 16 points, 10 rebounds, but may have a little bit of character issues. We all know about how he couldn't get out his driveway because of the snow or something like that was talked about. But if you're building for the future, I'll take a chance on bringing Ayton into this culture with LeBron and Luka to kind of like, hey, man, you have a second chance or a third chance, whatever you want to call it, to revamp your career and see what they can do, because this is a move not only, but maybe for now, but mostly for the future.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same page. Like Brook Lopez, instant, right, rim protector, good spacing, shooting the three. But with Ayton, right, he's 26, the youngest out of the group, and his upside is massive in terms of you want defended and rebounded. That's something. Upsize. Chill out. Paul Pierce. Good Lord. Rebounding. Defense. Let's get back to basketball.
You got it, Will.
Anthony. See, that's why I said I can't.
You can never get through your take.
I can't get to my...
Okay.
Anyhow, yes, for him, Ayton coming to the Lakers, I think for them, great potential. And being based on his culture or whatever it was, they say it was a locker room cancer, coming to the Lakers with LeBron James, I think with him and Luka, as you mentioned, it's a place where it wouldn't be like that because they have the leadership there. They have those kind of players in that team. So I think what they want, if they're building for the future, they want championship now, they go with the potential in Ayton.
Yeah, I mean, we all agree. I like Brook Lopez because I think they should go all in right now. I think they may have more options next year once they completely retool and to build around Luka. But if you're going to go all in and try and win a championship this year...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm listening to you. But
we have a great time on this show. I love you guys.
I think Brook Lopez is a better option right now.
Not Capella?
I mean, I don't think Capella is a bad option, but I like Brooklyn.
If they had other pieces, he'd be a great addition. Yeah. But I think right now, if they need a legit center, Ayton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of upside. Coming up, Rodgers and Mahomes are the two best to ever play quarterback. But which one would you prefer to have on your team? We'll discuss that next on Speak.
I'm going back to football, man. Man.
Aaron Rodgers is quickly approaching the end of his career, but he won 4 MVP awards when he was at the top of his game. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league right now, and Ben Roethlisberger made his pick on whether he would want prime Rodgers or current Mahomes. Take a listen.
Someone asked a question about would I take Aaron in his prime or Patrick Mahomes now?
Yeah.
Well, I would take Aaron in his prime over Patrick now. I think Aaron Rodgers in his prime was one of the top few to ever do it. I think that Aaron in his prime, then we're talking about Patrick right now.
Will.
You already know where I stand.
Go ahead. Get on my nerves.
Aaron Rodgers, let's go. Prime Aaron Rodgers. Unfortunately, I was on the field and saw the passes live in person, saw him win the game, saw him do his thing. But prime Aaron Rodgers is mathematically the perfect quarterback in terms of what he can do. He has the highest interception to touchdown ratio of all time, highest passer rating, just absolutely elite. He did not have the elite defenses. He did not have.
Here we go.
He did not have the run game. He did not have He did not have Andy Reid, and he was still lighting it up. Prime Aaron Rodgers is just, I mean, in terms of what you want from a pure passer, pure quarterback, it is the real deal. At one time, the one time he did have an elite defense, he won a Super Bowl. The one time he didn't have any of that stuff. And so in terms of what Aaron Rodgers has done when he was lighting it up, it is not even, it's close.
No, you was about to say what?
No,
it's close.
Stand on business, Will.
I was on business, but it was close. Because I love Mahomes. Like, I'm a fan of Mahomes. But prime Aaron Rodgers, that's who I got as the quarterback. Like, that's who I have as legit. And the year they went 15-1, they had a 32nd ranked defense in yards. They were giving up the goods. The 2 NFC Championship games, the defense gave up 30-plus points. They gave up 3 TDs to Tom Brady before the half. The other one, they gave up 44 points.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Right. No, but listen, I get you. I get you. You was on the field.
No, you don't.
I do get it.
I was on the field for that
listen,
stuff, but no, you
was on the field. I was watching, TV feet kicked up with some, wings. Listen.
No, I'm not listening.
If you want to tell me putting Rodgers in the combine versus Mahomes, okay.
What?
Okay. Rodgers is going to probably destroy Mahomes.
In the combine?
In a combine, yeah. No. We talk about accuracy and down the field and all that stuff. But listen, what are we trying to do here?
Games.
We're trying to win.
Yeah.
And what I saw from Patrick Mahomes last year, now statistically, Patrick Mahomes is not going to be looking, he didn't look spectacular. He didn't even make the Pro Bowl last year. But you know what? He only lost 1 game. And
so what's that tell you?
This is what it tells me. It tells me that if I'm down a 1-score game and I got the ball to go to field, who do you want? Rodgers or Mahomes? Because I've seen Mahomes consistently put the fear of a defense, put the fear of God in defense in that last drive. Time and time and time again. He has an aura. Now, did Rodgers have an aura? Absolutely. This Green Bay aura was bright. Suit, like, woo! I'm talking about, looking like Bruce Leroy bright. But when I look at Mahomes, what he's done since being in the NFL, Mahomes' playoff record, 17-4. Rodgers, 11-10.
11 and what?
11-10. That says a lot.
Joy, don't look at me.
And that's over the course of his career. And Mahomes is probably just now entering his prime. Listen, I understand the mechanics, the best thrower of the football. I've heard all of it. The best, what do they say? The best game manager. They use all these terms for Rodgers. They use winner for Mahomes.
Ooh.
And so I want the winner.
Ooh.
Not the pretty boy with the curly hair, I want the guy that's hands and feet, gloves in the mud, that's going to go get it.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, no question. No, but back to your point about Mahomes having the chance to, game on the line, has the football, because he was able to actually get the football because the defense stood up. The defense stood up for him to have him a chance, to give him a chance to be in these close games. Aaron Rodgers really didn't have a chance. The whole point is, there were some players, the one time they did well is when the defense was ranked second. And in this case, in terms of all the things, all the attributes, Aaron Rodgers, go ahead, Joy.
So you're saying that just take the coaching away, take the culture away, take the defense away, take the talent around him away,
take the filters away,
right? Just take the picture, click.
Straight quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
Straight quarterback.
Prime Aaron Rodgers, straight quarterback.
Oh, what we trying to do here again? Win, or we just like the way he looks in the combine? That looks great, amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's won a lot. He's now listen, he looks amazing as far as when I saw him in Green Bay, the way he looked, the way the spiral and all that, boom, on the run, all of that. But Mahomes, man, come on. The behind the back throw, he's reinventing the game.
We're talking about the Kansas City. We're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, but this is Mahomes makes plays.
We're talking about
He does make plays.
Yes.
Plays.
We're talking about Mahomes.
I mean, back foot just falling down.
Because here's what it is.
Quarterbacks are trying to do the same thing.
So the reason why Aaron doesn't, in terms of the off the throwing here, falling down, is because Aaron does a better job in terms of the pre-snap. Like, he knows the pressure's coming. He knows the blitz is coming. So he's able to beat the blitzes because he knows what he's doing pre-snap. Now, post-snap, Mahomes probably didn't read that so well, but he was better mobile. He was better moving around, and he's known for doing all that. So that's why he has those highlights in terms of throwing the football. But just pure on in terms of quarterback is Aaron Rodgers.
So pure on in terms of quarterback, you taking Rodgers over Brady too, right?
Rodgers over Brady?
Yeah.
What's all Mahomes?
No, but I'm asking.
Yes.
Because if you take over Mahomes, based on what you saying,
I'm taking prime Rodgers, period.
Over anybody. I mean, that's,
historically, mathematically, statistically, it's legit.
Yeah, for sure.
It's legit.
Now Rodgers, he one of them ones. No, he is.
Yes.
Here's the thing: when people played against Aaron Rodgers, the challenge with him is that he could put the football anywhere on the field. That was the gift for Aaron Rodgers. He was insanely accurate, and that was the fear of playing against Aaron. The fear of playing against Brady is that he knew what you were doing. So his was more schematically. Like, he'll go up there, he'll line up, he'll be like, okay, they're in cover 3. This linebacker has to go here. You got to go here. You got to go here. I'm going to go here. So he picked you apart mentally and schematically. Right. That's what he was able to do. Where Rodgers just pure on, there wasn't really anything you can do. That's why, you needed someone like a team with an unreal pass rush and you're able to play man-to-man or whatever. And it didn't matter, because if you play tight man-to-man, he's going to hit you back shoulder. You do this, he's going to do that. He was big on high percentage passes and being insanely efficient. And when you want efficiency as a quarterback, that's who you got. You got Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, part of me hates these conversations because it's Mahomes has had a better career than Aaron Rodgers already.
Yeah.
So it's almost impossible for me to form the sentence that I would pick Aaron Rodgers prime over Patrick Mahomes prime, because the results are right here in black and white. And Mahomes has had a better career. There has been times when Aaron Rodgers has not had the defense that he's needed to have.
There's been plenty of times.
But I'm not going to say the Green Bay Packers are not a well-run organization with bad culture or bad coaching, because that's inaccurate. It's not like he was getting it out the mud.
Wasn't get out the mud, but that wasn't a hot destination for free agents. People did not go
I mean...
It was. The only reason they got Charles Woodson is because he had no one else.
All I'm saying is it's tough to have these conversations because it pins greats against each other, and in some way we
want you to have the conversation, Joy. Have fun.
I am doing it. I'm doing my job. This is what I get paid to do. I'm doing the thing. But it's off season. We're making this happen. I cannot pick prime Rodgers over Mahomes. And I remember prime Rodgers. What we're watching right now, as much as we're clawing to try and make Aaron into what he was.
We are holding
before.
on.
We're holding on.
We are holding
We're
on.
holding on, okay? But that's not who he is anymore, and that's okay. But these conversations then kind of diminish what Aaron actually was, which was an all-time great player. From a pure, like, quarterback put the ball wherever standpoint, but, like, that, to me, this is a struggle because that's not everything a quarterback is to me. You're also the leader of the team. You're also the person that's depended on to get the job done.
Yes,
he is, to me, one of the greatest individual players at that position ever.
Leader, check.
Hold on. That's you inserting words into my take. Then they're going to think I said it.
Clip that.
No, you got Rodgers, Mahomes as a leader who checks the bar. Mahomes does.
Yeah.
Over Rodgers, yes. As a leader.
All right. Well, he over here. But what
I'm not disagreeing. They're both leaders.
You didn't say nothing.
They are. It's levels to this, though. It's levels.
You didn't say nothing. But it does put two greats against each other. Aaron Rodgers is, and especially in his prime, was a bad man. A bad man. Terrifying man. But when we're talking about who has already had the better career, it's Patrick Mahomes, and that makes it tough for me. Man's got 3 Super Bowls already.
I mean, it's a fair argument.
Context.
You know what this is, though? This goes into the argument when LeBron says something about ring culture is overrated or something like that. Because if you look at, I don't know. This is a good argument. Even though he got 3 rings, he got 1, and you argue Rodgers is better because what? Is he better because he has 3 rings? Is that?
I mean, at some point, the rings.
Yeah, they have to.
And the eyeballs.
Well, people are trying to also
and we're
diminish.
seeing Mahomes, who he's winning with. He's had different versions of this team that he's won with. Like, it's kind of tough.
Well, people try to diminish Belichick as the GOAT because he had Brady, or vice versa. Like,
no, Brady went to Tampa.
They go hand in hand. The player and the coaches won all day.
Well, coming up,
voice crack nerd.
Jaguars summer pass rusher Josh Hines-Allen joins us in studio next on Speak.
Enjoy your cough drop.
Usually, if you got the GOAT player, you got the GOAT coach.
Welcome back to Speak. We're joined by 2-time Pro Bowl edge rusher Josh Hines-Allen. Thanks for joining us, Josh.
Thank you
Good to have you here.
John.
How did minicamp go?
As good as ever. I feel like the energy's been high. New coaching staff, new GM. You know, I feel like new players and all, just a different type of energy, different culture we bringing in, and I'm excited to be about it.
What's the style and culture that your new coach is starting to set for you there?
I mean, I just think it's, when you think about our culture, I think it's just competitive, having fun, and being what you're supposed to do, doing what you're supposed to do. I think Coach Cohen has been against a lot of successful offenses, and, you can tell he has that demeanor. He's been a coach his whole life, and his father learned from his father. So I just think, it's aggressive. He brought the right coaches in to help him out, and I'm excited to get after it.
Hold on. Is he a coach or a player's coach?
He's a player's coach, but he know how to tap into that coach mentality. Yeah. And that's what we kind of expect from him. I expect that. I expect, not to be cool with everybody, but understand where everybody's at, can speak our language, but also when it's time to shut it on, he can do that.
Okay. We had this conversation about coaches, and players, coach, what we prefer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a fun fact for you. So Liam was my high school rival. We go way back, yeah. And so
you played against him?
Played with high school, yeah. And so I texted him, I was like, you're going to be on the show. And he said some good things about you. He said, first off, you had a really good offseason. He said, because this is one of the offseasons you were actually there the whole time working.
Yeah.
And he was like, he really went in there. He was present. He dropped weight and he looks really good, man. And you said 270, which is, I thought you were lighter. So that means you're lean. So he was really proud and happy with what you're doing right there. So
definitely.
Really, really cool, man. He's excited for this year.
Definitely. I got a lot of, when we hired him, I got all my coaches back in Kentucky was raving about him. They was like, you're going to love him. I have my defensive coordinator there now, Coach Brad White, called me and just like, yeah, you're going to be there this year during OTAs. And I was like, man, I already planned on doing it, be there to help him out and just be more present with this progress.
That's funny. B. White was my vet in high school.
No way.
I promise you.
I love Coach White.
Yeah, Brad White was the man, yeah. When I was a sophomore, he was a senior. So, Rhode Island connection.
A lot of connections here.
Rhode Island, stay a dog. Let's go. You see us.
I like it.
What have you seen from Travis Hunter so
Yeah, I
far?
went to a school and I'm so old. I went to.
Oh, yeah, you read us a book when I was in third grade.
He was read to a tree.
He read his reading in hand when I was in second grade.
He was in second grade. I went to his class and read a book to him.
No, he didn't.
I was about to say, good story right there. Good story.
We just gonna go with that.
Let's get back to football.
Because I used to go down to Rhode Island and read to the kids, though.
No, he was at. No, listen, everyone. He didn't come to my school. He was at Club Jovan's.
Club Joe Bonds out there. It was popping, though. It was popping.
I'm sorry, Josh. I swear we
like it.
we cannot stay serious on this show. What have you seen from Travis Hunter this offseason?
I mean, the competitiveness. I think this dude is going to be a legit player in the National Football League, both sides of the ball. We got his back, and at the end of the day, man, he's a playmaker. If he's going to be the best wide receiver, best corner, doesn't matter. He's going to make plays, no matter what side of the ball he's on. And that's what we need, and I'm excited to see that.
He has obviously, we're showing some incredible highlights. Is it that wow in person? See him on the field?
I mean, at the end of the day, he does make some good plays, but, we all out there trying to get right. But I know it was one play, the viral clip that he had when he intercepted the ball on defense. I told Coach, Coach, throw it to him. We're trying to see we're trying to see if he can do it. He threw that ball up, and at the time, we was like, damn, he just caught that. And I just thought it was one of the craziest catches, to be put on the spot at that moment and to deliver. Yeah. That was a good moment for not only, for me to see, but just be like, damn, this dude, he's a baller at the end of the day.
Man,
good.
Talk to me about Trevor Lawrence, man. Does he not get the credit you think he deserves?
I mean, I think
I like him a lot, too, man.
I love Trevor. He's my quarterback. I got his back no matter what. I think it's all up to him. I think wherever he wants us to be, he's going to take us there. I love Trevor at the end of the day. We all got a job to do. But again, what Coach Cohen is doing, he's not only hyping him up and pushing him, but the offensive line has to play better. Mm-hmm. The running backs, we're going to have to run this ball effectively. In order for him to do what we need to do. We got BTJ, who's already solidified himself as one of the top receivers. And again, that takes the pressure off of Travis going into a situation where, he doesn't have to be the number one guy on that side of the ball. So again, that helps Trevor develop into the guy that we all know he can be. But I think it's just maximizing everybody else around him. And I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, going back to Travis, all offseason we talked about him playing both sides of the football and what have you, and his conditioning. Liam talked about his conditioning is crazy. This dude doesn't get tired. His natural position is corner. So they said he's been working more on offense. So he was in the weight room, on the field. He doesn't get tired. Is that something you see about his conditioning?
Right now, OTAs is everything's broken up. So they got offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. And the only time we see him is during team, and that's 4-play rack. I think once we get into training camp, we put the pads on. Now we can start to see, what we can do. Everybody can do everything and, just jerseys. Yeah. But when we can put the shoulder pads on and really get into that mindset, and then we get into that 100-degree weather.
I was going to say that real Jack, that Duval heat, so with the burnt coffee beans. It's different, bro.
It's serious. Humid right now.
It's nasty. I played for 2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Nasty.
I'm excited for Travis, though.
Yeah.
I'm excited for him. And again, we talked about Travis, on the offensive side. We got BTJ. On the defense side, we got Tyson Campbell. Mm-hmm. I think Tyson's having his best offseason that I've seen him have since he's been there. And when you have a guy like that at the cornerback position that could take away the number one receiver, then that leaves Travis at a position to where he could just go in and just play ball and get a lot of opportunities. But we also got a good secondary this year as well. We brought a lot of key players that I'm excited to play with. I know our defensive coordinator is going to put him in positions to make it up, to do good for us up front. And we just got to get home, man.
Yeah.
You guys have a little bit of pressure this year. You last won the AFC South in 2022. You've been there for a while. 2-time Pro Bowler. You're a leader and a vet in the locker room. Got the beard and the
Wait. What year is this? What year is this?
The baby seats in the back.
7 years?
That's crazy.
Let me see.
He one of the ones with the beards.
No, yeah, I know. That's what I said when he first came. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out what year you become a vet.
He's a vet.
I'm saying what year? Is it like fifth?
I say
it's like 3 injury games, right? When you get vested,
like,
you kind of like.
But what year is it?
Like, I say
year?
like 6.
6 year, you a vet?
Depends what you do between that 5, what you do year 5. But like year 6 is like,
you a vet.
damn, you coming in. Like,
yeah.
You know,
we always talk about this as athletes. What year are you a vet? You know,
I say about 5 for me. Because then you got guys that's coming in. You know, you was in high school when they was.
So then you go from, all right, so 5, you a vet. When are you an OG? 9?
9.
9 is OG?
9.
And then anything 12 and up, you just triple OG.
Yeah, you gotta be
seasoned. Seasoned.
What you feeling like today? Those are the conversations. You want to Tuesday off,
grease.
12 and up,
Wednesday off.
you triple OG.
Oh, year 12, I felt like leftover grease on the stove, but it's we're gonna use it when we need you.
So what's Rodgers there right now? Cooked?
Man,
We're gonna
You see, I
Where's
my ISO? I ain't laughing.
Little one knows mode. We're gonna find out. No, but you are.
Aaron, I ain't laughing, Aaron.
You're a vet in that locker room. How do you set the tone in training camp for the younger guys, for all the new pieces that you have coming in? Obviously, there's a lot of new there, despite you being there for a while, Trevor Lawrence being there for a while, and it's a pretty wide open division.
Definitely. I think it's just setting the expectations high as soon as we get back. Speaking to the guys, like making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Training camp is going to be huge. I think this is a big year for us, and we can capitalize off this opportunity, man. You know, I don't think we're far away from anybody else. I think we can compete against anybody. And, you know, you add the playmakers we did add, you know, I think we're in a good position. But, again, for me as a leader, man, just to come in day one and set that tone early, let them know, like, this is the mentality that we finna play with. This is the conditioning, it's the effort that we need to play with every day. And set that standard and have everybody else follow.
Did you have a vet with the beard when you came in?
Car seat.
I had Calais was my vet. Calais clean face, you know, but he got he get to that. You got a big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no problems.
But Calais was a good vet for me, man. He showed me the way, and then they all left me my second year, but it's okay. I just got over that.
I can tell you said they left me, dog.
They left me, man. I was out there surviving.
Now, look, this is what I want you to do. When you go back to training camp,
talk to me.
I want you to take this tape and show them on the defense this move I got. I'm telling you, the defense is going to be cracking. Look, play the tape.
Y'all might just take it to the stage,
y'all going to be like, I think Paul is on to something.
Okay.
Like, this is what I need y'all to work on. I need y'all to work on this move right here.
Gotcha.
Right. Boom, boom, boom. In there.
It's too fast.
Right there. Y'all need to take this to the defense.
I must have blinked.
I'm saying you got to watch the footwork right here.
I missed it.
Come on, rewind that. Where you at? Oh. Boom, boom, round, swivel, boom.
It's the magenta polo is getting Paul, it's the
this how my uncle be doing. You for sure, bro. I don't know if that's gonna work.
Like you knocked off all the cereal off the stove.
Look, take that first day of training camp. Hey, coach, we need to work on this right here. Look what P got on something.
Hey,
boom,
cross chop.
boom, right around.
So what you doing?
But look, I got a new one though. Hold on. I got a new one though. No, this approved. Oh, I got low now.
Okay.
I got low. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, here we go. We around.
I've seen that work. We
got a new one. Look, I got low right here.
I've seen it. You know, you playing against a tackle. You playing against a tackle that likes to jump set. You know what I'm saying? You can
take that to coach. Like, hey, coach.
Trying to move up from
Pierce is on to something.
If I get a sack like that, I'm gonna look to Kim. This for you, Paul.
I'm getting my luggage on this plane, okay? I'm getting my luggage in the overhead.
I like it.
I ain't checking no bags today.
Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely
Don't
not.
do that, Josh.
Don't gas the plate.
I've seen it work, man. You'll be surprised.
See, I told
that
you.
first one, I didn't know.
That first one was, I was a little rusty. That was OTAs, but this one was training camp.
Okay.
I like it.
We're gonna keep
when you go
improving.
there, just take him to Taco Lou's, you know what I'm saying?
Taco Lou?
Taco
I
Lou's.
got him.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna come to Jacksonville, man.
I don't even know where Jacksonville is.
You see what I'm saying, man? That's disrespectful, by the way.
Nah, it's in Florida.
Crazy.
I know it's deep.
That's
deep
crazy.
south. That's the deep south, dog.
Deep South.
He said the deep south. There's a whole lot.
He was in Massachusetts. He talking about Massachusetts.
He's funny, bro.
It's too hot down there, bro. I don't like mosquitoes and humid.
Hey, let me tell you something.
I'm gonna come
Where you
like
from?
I'm from here.
That's what.
That makes sense.
I gotta come like in December.
Yeah,
During
that
this
training camp in
yeah.
Jacksonville, that training camp in Florida at all.
They said cool zone. I said, what's a cool zone?
Yeah,
you need it or you're going to die.
you're going to die.
I know you're gonna die.
Like right
I used to do radio from
like
Miami
nothing in
Dolphins
Florida
training
right now.
camp and
It's
almost
too hot.
died sitting there.
You walk down the strip, man.
That heat is different.
No, I'm ready because last time I went to Florida, I was walking down the street. I felt like I had to shower 3 times a day just from walking outside. It's so humid. I'm like,
Hey.
the mosquitoes.
It's our advantage, right? That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh no, it is.
That's what they say.
Week 1.
I started
Y'all
0-8
hot
when I was there. We were 0-8 my first year. We had no advantage. I got off the line. I was like,
Yeah.
gassed.
Damn.
Be like that.
I did the paw move.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
That's like a,
Boom, boom, boom.
we could talk about that, though.
Hey, I'm gonna be ready for first week of the season. I'm gonna have a new one.
Keep
I'm
working.
gonna get the spin. Woo!
We got to move this
That
desk.
guard gonna be looking at you like this. I'm still traumatized off my spin. I did 1 spin.
All right, look. Tell me
I
this.
ain't doing it again.
What
gotta get
was
that.
your
get that spin.
welcome to the NFL moment?
Man, week 1, rookie year, home game against Patrick Mahomes, and I get a sack. I get up, celebrate.
Right.
I look back. They back there fighting in and threw away my flag. I was like, damn, this what we doing? You can't just take your lick and go. They took away my sack.
Oh, you got a
Patrick
flag.
Mahomes. No, I didn't get a flag. They was fighting in the back,
Yeah, and took
and
away
then they
your
took
sack.
away my sack. Man, I was hot.
Oh, you got
Then
your
I had 3 the next week.
Okay.
But they
If I
took
see
away
him
your
do that,
sack.
I know he hot right now.
Yeah,
3.
we know it's coming.
They left me.
Best of luck this
Took away my
season.
sack.
We look forward to watching you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on.
Appreciate you,
Really
man.
appreciate it. Coming up, would there even be a trade market for LeBron if he wanted out of LA? We will discuss that next on
They're gonna
Speak.
trade LeBron for me.
What?
He is the greatest to come out of LA. Be a champion. Be a Hall of Famer.
There's a whole bunch in the Gold Jackets world that I wouldn't trade my career for theirs, but I promise you, they trade their career
To be
for
you.
mine and my post-career.
Yeah.
Nipsey was always a hustler. You know, he used to come to school with candy and blow pops and juices. Hustling.
Just left Washington from calling game.
I know this shit.
Lucky shot.
This is what he was
How
doing.
many lucky shots I got like that, then? Go in your office and put Paul Pierce game winners.
Kobe was too sophisticated for college. He was smarter than any coach.
I changed my signature because of him to just Keyshawn and whatever my number was.
Yeah.
Because he was just hit Kobe 8.
Yeah.
And he was done.
That's the first episode of Keyshawn's LA Legends series that dropped this morning. Episode 1 is an LA Players panel that features Paul, Baron Davis, and Deshaun Jackson. Paul, how cool was it hearing Baron say you were the greatest to ever come out of LA?
Man, what people don't know, me and Baron grew up together. I've been knowing Baron since he was a 6th grader, Inglewood YMCA. You know, so he's probably a little biased. But it's been some great LA legends that come out of the city. Most notable, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. This is for your peers to make. You know, I don't go out there saying, I'm the best. Obviously, I didn't win an MVP like those guys did, but I think when you look at the body of work, high school, college, and the pros, I'm up there. So appreciate it, BD. That's my man. Appreciate it, my man.
Well, make sure that you go and check out Keyshawn's episode 1 of LA Legends on his podcast, All Facts, No Breaks, out today. Staying in LA with the Lakers, LeBron is reportedly monitoring the Lakers' moves this offseason, and rumors are swirling that LeBron could consider leaving the Lakers if it means winning another championship. The team would have to take on his $52 million contract, and LeBron will turn 41 next season. So, Paul, should a team want to trade for LeBron?
I mean, they can want to trade LeBron, but you can't trade a massive icon and one of the greatest, if not the greatest player of all time. This is LA. You got to understand, I know he's getting old, he's at the end of his career. If you could trade him and say you could get better, do you do it? I'm still not sure you do it. You got to understand, listen, we understand the business of basketball, and yes, we want to win, and that's why we traded for Luka, because not only are we prepping for now, we're prepping for the future. So even if they don't win this year, and with LeBron, we're set for the next 10 years with a franchise player. And so I think you just let LeBron play it out. You continue to, he's still going to be sold out, bronze box office. He's still top box, so he's still the face of the league, no matter how you want to slice it. And so, and what he's been able to do in the city of LA, you keep him here, let him go out on his own note, and that's it. You don't even entertain it. But if there's something Rich Paul LeBron want to do, let's say, hey, we feel like we got enough in the tank, he's going to have to waive his no-trade clause. That's the only thing. So this is not the Lakers' decision. Right. This is all LeBron and what he wants to do.
Yeah, I got another question for you, though, Paul. Like, right now, it says the reports there are no trade market for LeBron. Like, what does that mean?
Well,
like, to you?
The thing is, when you say there's no trade market, is a team going to go all in and say, hey, we're going to go trade some young assets or some draft picks for LeBron because we feel like if we bring LeBron in, we can win a championship now. Nobody feels that. Nobody feels that. It's like, how do you trade for a one-year rental when you could be mortgaging your future? Everybody right now feels like they have a future as far as like, hey, we can build on this, we can build on that. And so is it worth it for us to give away a few assets that may become something one day or already something for a chance to have LeBron? It's probably not worth it at this stage, and that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, it sounds like a negative thing, but there's layers to it. He's very expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
And he has a no-trade clause, and they would be assuming that this is at best 2 years, but probably a 1-year situation. So if you're a team that is poised to compete this year, you're probably assembled with young assets. Why would you leverage that or break up what you've been building for a player that come in for 1 year? Like, you'd want to maybe add him to it, but with the cost that he would come with the money, you'd have to give up some pieces also to the Lakers. So he's going to be a Laker next season. To me, this is not even a conversation.
See what I did there? I took my question. I just asked you my question. There you go. See, we're a team.
I got lost right there. I was dangerous.
I know you were. I don't know where you were right now.
I was kind
of.
He just went.
And every day at 3:30, Paul asks Darnell, what is he going to eat for dinner?
He's thinking about wings.
He's thinking about wings. He's thinking about if he's going to get burgers and fries.
Bean pie,
shrimp,
beef patties.
Shrimp.
Wedge.
I might go get some oxtails.
See,
See what I'm saying?
every day at 3:30, it is the same conversation. Moving over to Paul's Celtics, after trading away Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis last week, Boston has reportedly told one team that they would also be open to trading Derrick White, but only for a, quote, Mikal Bridges type of package. Bridges was traded last summer for 4 first-round picks. Paul, would you be okay with them trading Derrick White?
I don't like it, but I understand it, and I feels like if you're going to trade a player like Derrick White, you have to say, is this worth the return? And a return that Mikal Bridges got in his trade, it could be worth it to where he got 4 first-round picks. Because look, the Celtics are saying, hey, look, we're still contenders. But maybe we may not contend next year based on, what's going on with Tatum. But we feel like we're setting ourselves up a year and a half from now to where we can position ourselves to get another key player in the game to go along with JB and Tatum. But I feel like Derrick White is that guy. He could be that guy for the next 5 years. So would I entertain trading him? I think everybody has a price. You got to understand, some of the greatest players in this game has been traded. And it's not, a knock against Derrick. It's actually an honor if somebody actually wants to trade for you at your peak and willing to pay a price for it. I was traded, even though I wasn't at my peak performance like he is at this stage. Guys like Shaquille, Carmelo, these guys were traded. So it's not a knock versus him. It just shows that people around the league still value you and feel like you can help them get over the hump.
Yeah, I think I feel like when teams after winning a title, right now I would not be okay with that. As a Celtics fan, I would not be okay with them trading Derrick White. But I feel like after teams win a title, you kind of have a window of like, okay, maybe we're going to make some moves here. We're going to make some adjustments here, especially knowing this year you're not going to have Tatum. And you made the move with Holiday and Porzingis. Yeah, I would listen to it if I was a GM there, but I don't think I would make this trade. I think he is just too valuable. And also, I don't know if what he did in Boston, would that translate to somewhere else? Yeah. Because how Boston's design fits perfectly for what Derrick White is doing there in Boston. So I would say I would listen, but I wouldn't make that move.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to give you just a ridiculous offer that you can't say no to, I would not move off of Derrick White. Again, you don't want to put yourself in a position where Tatum comes back and you're sort of in this hybrid rebuild, not unstable, putting pieces together situation. Like, he is going to come back, and he is going to come back 100%. So he's going to be the same player. I do not believe that his game is going to change, or that he's not going to be able to get back to the level that he was playing before this injury. He's young. It's 2025. They've got lasers and stuff. Like, he's going to be fine as far as his Achilles injury goes. So when he comes back, you want to be able to compete right away. So the moves that you're making for this season cannot put you in a position where you're going to have to make more moves when he's back that then gear you up to compete. You want to be in championship mode the second that he's available.
Yeah, and guys like Derrick White are hard to replace, man. You got to understand, he's not a superstar. He's not even an all-star. I like to call guys like him glue guys. And these are the guys that hold the pieces together. That's like the middle ground between your stars, but in big moments, they're there. They like fill-ins to where like they can make up for everything you're lacking as a team. And he's one of those guys. So to lose Derrick White, we already were devastated by the loss of Jrue Holiday, but to lose Derrick White would be even more devastating.
Well, coming up, the Lions lost both of their coordinators this offseason, but will they be better this season with a healthy defense? That's next on Speak.
Is win or go home. It's a penalty for Costa Rica, and it's in. Diego Luna, it's deflected, it's in. Here's Max Armstead who scores. Two for company, he splits them off. Rebound still alive, and Costa Rica tied it. Yes!
Big time. U.S. moving on to the semifinal.
Congratulations to the U.S. men's national team on their incredible win in penalties over Costa Rica in the Gold Cup quarterfinals on Sunday. Next, they'll face Guatemala in the semifinals on Wednesday. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. Eastern right here on FS1. The Lions had big dreams last season after making it all the way to the NFC Championship in 2023. However, they were struck hard by the injury bug and got upset in the divisional round by the Commanders. But this year, they're healthy again. However, they did lose both coordinators to head coaching jobs, and defensive back Brian Branch says his team is better than last year and hungry to get that Super Bowl win. So, Paul, do you agree that the Lions will be better than last year?
You know what? Roster-wise, they got one of the best rosters in all of football. When you talk about top to bottom, they really match up well with Philly when you talk about roster, running back, receivers, quarterback. But you lose two important pieces that weren't even on the roster, so offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And that does something to a team. You have to learn a whole new system. You got to get healthy this year. Now, will they be better than last year? I don't think record-wise they'll be better. I mean, you're talking about a team that won 15 games, 15-2. That's pretty good.
Right.
So. But I do believe they can go further in the playoffs. I don't think they can match 15 wins. I think they're going to be a little bit of growing pains, but I still think they're a for sure shot playoff team. Man, it just I love their running back Gibbs. I love my receiver Amon-Ra. He one of them. He won a top 5 to me in the game as far as receivers. But the coaching thing does matter. I truly believe that. And I think it's something that's going to hurt them in the regular season, but I do think they'll get it together. And they're going to have a playoff run, surprisingly. You watch.
Yeah, so essentially, according to you, they will be better because they're going to go further in the playoffs.
They won't be better regular season.
But how the season will end up.
Yeah, I think they'll end up better.
Yeah, losing the coordinators is a huge deal. And especially two guys that end up getting head coaching jobs. That just shows you how great they were. And also, you saw how they did well stats-wise. Another big piece, their center, Frank Ragnar, he retired. And losing for Goff to lose his center, that was huge. That is an important piece in terms of what he's able to do. So hopefully Glasgow can come in, who he did play some center previously. Hopefully him coming in, stepping out to the role. But you do have your nucleus coming back offensively. You know, we don't know Aiden Hutchinson's full health, what he's going to be like coming in. So the depth as pass rusher. And then you kind of revamp your secondary. You have more depth in the secondary, but in terms of when you bring in new pieces and they're younger, like, are they going to actually have great chemistry? So I think overall there's a lot of things going on. And they did promote in-house when it came to the coordinators. And so you have new play callers. You have a new center to do all these things. But I believe the culture is still there with Dan Campbell. So will they be better? I don't think they will be better this season coming up. But I still think they are going to be a playoff contender, championship contender.
I think they'll be a playoff contender. I do think that this will be a bit of a down year for them. I think it's too much to replace the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, their center, to come back and retool all of that. Plus, I think the NFC will look a little different. I think the Bears are going to be better. I think the Niners are going to be better.
Their
I think
division
the Seahawks,
alone.
their division alone. I think the Vikings will take a step back, but you have Atlanta. So it's going to look a little different in the NFC as far as the playoff picture goes. And I think that, Dan Campbell has obviously shown that he is a culture builder, and what they have going on in Detroit is going to last for a long time. But that's just a lot to replace. And we've seen it. When Philly had to replace all their coordinators, it was a bit of a down year. Still a playoff year, but it's hard to keep replacing them, and that's like kind of the burden of being a successful team, is that you're going to lose pieces. Coming up, the AFC West is loaded with coaching talent, but will one of them have enough to take down Andy Reid and the Chiefs? That's next on Speak. The Chiefs have won the AFC West 9 years in a row. But other teams in the division have big goals this season. Broncos DB Patrick Surtain said his main goal is to win a Super Bowl. And Raiders D-lineman Max Crosby pointed to the Thunder as an example of a team who could turn things around quickly and win a championship. So, Will, how does AFC West play out this season?
You know what? You go to Kansas City, the man Mahomes is still there, right? Mm-hmm. Andy Reid's still there. Steve Spagnuolo's still there. Travis Kelce's still there. It's still going to go through Kansas City. That's who's going to hold it down. The dynasty is still alive. They just competed in the Super Bowl. As long as those guys are still there playing at a high level, it's going to go through Kansas City. Now, you can make a case, sure, Denver is a dark horse. They added some insane pieces on defense with Hufanga and Greenlaw. If those guys are healthy, obviously it's going to be a big deal. You have a top defense in the Raiders. If they can run the football, obviously Pete Carroll comes in and changes the culture. And then you have the Chargers, where wherever Jim Harbaugh goes, he's a proven winner. And, they're going to run the ball. They're going to play strong defense. But none of those teams have been proven to dethrone the Chiefs. So right now, it's still going to go through Kansas City. I don't see anything else. As you guys got on me earlier, Mahomes is still there. Still the guy.
If only they had Aaron Rodgers.
If they had primary, no, I'm kidding. Go ahead, though.
They had primary Rodgers to be a lock, huh? I like to call the AFC Pinky and the Chiefs. What are we doing this year, Chiefs, in the AFC West?
Pinky and the Chiefs.
Pinky and the Chiefs. We're going to win the AFC West again.
So many kids have
One
no
is the genius,
idea.
the others are insane.
No idea.
We're out to win the AFC West. Same thing we do every year, Pinky. It's a no-brainer for me. The team that lost one game with Mahomes as a starter, and that was a giveaway game, the second loss. Come on, this is the Chiefs' division to lose, and yes, Harbaugh will be a key factor in that division, and yes, you have Denver in the division who played well last year under, a rookie quarterback, but this is Patrick Mahomes and a motivated Travis Kelce. Come on now.
Yeah, because he thought about shutting it down. He was like, we're going to come back. The only reason he came back because they know they have a chance to do it again.
Which one's the brain?
Pinky and the Chiefs.
They're both the brain?
No, Pinky and the Chiefs are the brain.
What did Brain used to say? World domination?
Yeah. World domination.
Take over the world.
Take over the world. Exactly.
We're talking about Pinky and the we are so old. Pinky and the Brain is such a
YouTube
good
kids,
cartoon.
if you don't know, Pinky and the Brain.
The Chiefs are going to win it again. I do think that the division is tough, and it's maybe the most accomplished coaching division that we've ever seen in the history of the NFL.
No question.
But the Chiefs are still on top. The Chiefs are still the team to beat until proven otherwise. 9 years in a row, you got to knock them off before we start talking about.
Who's pushing them, though? Who do you think is pushing?
The Broncos are a playoff team last year. The Chargers playoff team. I think they're in position to make to push them, but to like actually take the next step. Somebody has to actually do it, and they haven't been able to do it for almost a decade now. So I'm not giving it to them until they prove it. Making the playoffs and going through another route other than the Chiefs is different than winning the division. Coming up, could Paul's latest defensive line move actually get to a quarterback?
Hell no.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's speak.
Whoop, 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 wop. Yeah. Whoop, wop.
Whoop-de-wop. Earlier on the show, Jags edge rusher Josh Hines-Allen joins us, and he said actually that Paul's latest move might work in a game.
Well, you jumped out the bushes right there.
I jumped left. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's the move right there. Hey, take that to training camp, y'all. Use this as a tool on how to get to the quarterback. Listen, I'm on to something right
here.
That's
that meniscus.
You need some
that left meniscus
right
was
some hand fighting moves.
What they say in London, you got dodgy knees. That's what they call it.
They're going to use this as a traiing camp tape.
He got dodgy knees, isn't it?
And
I got more moves on the way. Follow me at Paul Pierce 34.
That's it for us.
Follow my TikTok.
We'll see you tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern.